Hi there, it's Rob Anderson again. I'm going to do this video now for you as sort of as an interruption in the WordPress training, because in theory I should be teaching you how to use every one of these navigational tools or whatever you want to call them one by one and using them properly. Instead, I'm going to show you what I do when I install a WordPress website straight away. Because very often what I'm about to do is all you need to do to get it set up. And when those things are done, if that's the case, if that's what I'm trying to explain to you, once those things are done, then after that, all I really do after that is add pages and posts and do internal linking and things, all within adding pages and posts. In other words, I've preset up my categories, I've preset up all these settings kind of in one shot. So let's get straight to it, because I'm going to try and make this one video. It might end up running to two if it goes past 15 minutes. Okay, so the very first thing I do is I go down to settings. I go to all of these general and things I can change straight away if I want. So the title is WordPress Training Videos. Wow. I have this really cool plugin that fixes everything I do. It's a beautiful thing. And then there'd be a little title if you want that too, not just another WordPress site. If I want to change my email details, I'd do that. And the trick is not to fiddle with anything else. Writing, discussion, reading, media, all of this we will fiddle with in the next thing. I go down to the bottom here to Permalinks. I click on that. And I want Permalinks. I'm going to do a complete video on Permalinks, but it's not too complicated. Really speaking, I want it to be post name. So that's my custom structure, and I do it from an SEO point of view because my post is called WordPress Training. Then it helps Google see it, and instead of just calling it 123 like this, which would not help my SEO. That's it. I click Save Changes, and that is done. Okay. I then go back to, so that for me is one of the most important. I then go up to posts. I click all posts, and I delete the sample post that they gave me. It's Hello World. I trash it. Okay. I then go to categories within my posts, and there will be one, and it'll be called uncategorized, which is really sort of ugly to look at. So I click edit on that, and I will change that to something else. Let me pause the video and just give it a bit of thought and change it. Sorry, I foolishly clicked resume update before I started my video again. But basically, I just decided to call it WordPress Tips. And then WordPress Tips, I take no capitals, no uppercase, and I join it up because the slug is sort of like how there we go, URL friendly version, okay? And I hit update. Now you could, if you wanted to, really get serious about your SEO, and every one of these do a detailed, literally a 200 or 300 word description, and it will help your SEO, I promise you. So you're welcome to do that. Now in a case like this, let's find one of my websites very quickly. Add new page, small business opportunities, categories. If you look at this, I'm using a fancy theme of which we will talk about later. But if you look at my categories, there are probably many. So what you would need to do is decide from later on when I talk to you about posts, how you're going to structure your website and whether you need to work with posts. This is a newspaper theme called Extra from Elegant Themes, and it uses a lot of posts. So I have therefore a lot of categories. I've even got categories as subcategories. And that's all pretty cool, so nothing to panic about, but you don't need to worry about it. For now, in an average website, you need to put your kind of the stuff that you're going to be talking about from a news point of view. So let's say this is about WordPress, as mine is. My categories would be titled like WordPress design ideas, new WordPress themes, WordPress tips, hardly any, literally for what you would be talking about when you're teaching people stuff or adding content. So if you were running a shopping site and you were working with shoes, you would have a category that were boots and category of lace up, and a category of running shoes, and each one of those would be a category, and that's how you'd structure your categories. Okay, so then I don't need to fiddle with much else after that. I go to pages and I go to all pages. Well, if you click on pages, I think it goes to all pages anyway. And I trash the sample page. I really didn't ever want it. I don't want Google to keep indexing it. Indexing, by the way, means that once Google sees your website in any form, it reads the pages and remembers that's what's on your website. So you could, if you wanted to, go to your settings. Maybe it's in users. Let's have a look at your profile. Somewhere in here, I very seldom use this. You can ask Google to not show your website to the world. So you'd have to scroll through this and find it. I'm not even going to search for it. I never do that. My opinion is that I want Google to see everything that I'm up to. Even worse is that if I do, sometimes with clients I've done with sites, I go off and I turn it off. And yeah, what can I say? And then after a while I'm wondering, why is this client's not, here we go. So it's under settings, under reading settings, and you click discourage search engines from indexing this site. It's like you tell them, please don't, they will or they won't, it doesn't matter. But my problem is I forget that I've done that, and then I'm in trouble weeks after working on that site thinking, wow, this is really not working. Okay, that's pretty much the basics. Oh, no, my bad. Sorry, it's not the basics. I would then do, I think I told you already, I would have come in and installed plugins immediately. Now, WordPress comes with these plugins. I immediately deactivate the Mojo Marketplace because I prefer other themes. I feel they're not that cool. So Mojo and Jetpack by WordPress. Some people love it, so you can go to Jetpack, find out the videos, look at what Automatic, by the way, they're the guys that kind of own WordPress. So they do know what they're doing. Don't for a minute think, and whatever HostGator is, Holo Dolly is just kind of a thing from the past. Look at that. That's how many of them. I tick them off. I'd click bulk action and I'd click delete. And then I click apply and they're all gone. So yes, delete these files and data. And I'm now clean and clear with my Kismet, which I haven't activated. This is a very important one. It's security. What you'd have to do is click activate. If I've done this for you, I would have activated for you, but you've got to create an Akismet account if you haven't. And so that's going to take you to there, and it'll say get your API key, login, create a site, or you would do this. In fact, let me just pause this video and add mine in, and it's done while I'm on this page. Right, I've set it. It's now active. If you go down here to settings, there we go, and at the bottom down is the Akismet. In fact, almost any time you add a plugin, it'll add itself into the navigation dashboard on the left hand side. Okay, now further down in this thing, I'm going to show you what and where and how to add in plugins and things. And for now, there are quite a few. In fact, give me a second. I would probably give you a list. If you'd have taken the free site from me, you would have got that. In here are a bunch of bought plugins. But these are the kind of ones that similar ones. I mean, Divi Builder is paid for, Bloom is paid for, Backup Buddy is paid for, Super Menu Lite, no, not paid for. Wow, it's not even bad. I'm not sure what I've bought and haven't bought. Insta Builder is paid for, Monarch is paid for, Lite is. So after these are free. So a lot of these some of them will come installed if you've taken my option of a free site installed for you because you use my hosting link. But other than that, I will then give you a list when we get to plugins as to what you kind of really do need on your website. It's a huge debatable thing. If you look now, WordFence Security is the one I'm going to go and add for you now, just as a sample. So let's for now add the plugin that I would normally have done straight away. It will be the very, very first thing. So I click add plugins. I don't go to upload. Over here I would type WordPress. I'll try my best to spell it correctly. The worst thing about having live videos with you guys is that you get to see very clearly that I can't spell. Okay, so you now come to a whole bunch of potential plugins that you can use. Now, just to explain, because this is new to you, plugins is a bit like adding things to your car. So you can buy a basic car, but then you want to add a turbocharger. So you'd come in here to plugins and you'd say load plugin, and you'd click search turbocharger, and then you'd have a choice of turbochargers, paid and free, that you can install. And then you'd think, oh, but I also want a radio. So you'd come back and you'd do add plugin, and you'd type in here radio, and you'd search through it, and you'd come through again to a bunch of paid or free options. In fact, in here, I think these are all free. Paid ones are kind of stuff that I'd send you links. I'd send you links to so you can buy them, and they normally are far superior. But you get where I'm going. So those plugins add functionality to your website. In this case, security. So I'd go to the WordPress one, which is I like. I'm happy with it. It's popular. It's not the be all and end all of security. For that, it's about a $50 product that you have to purchase if you really want to make sure your website is safe. By the way, the two main things: never, ever, ever make your username admin when you set up your website. In fact, if you have, then simply just go and literally reinstall it before you added anything. So if you've got an interesting username and a very, very complicated password, you've already kind of blocked out 80% of the people that are going to hack you. Okay, so we're back here. We're now going to click activate plugin, and your security is set up. Now, as per usual, it's going to add a navigation. There we go. There's a tour. You can get training. I do suggest you do it, because look at the sort of things you can do in it. Continue tour, no thanks, I really don't feel like it. You guys can do the tour. And then you would go through all of these: your live traffic, performance, blocked IPs, country blocking if you want. It's pretty cool, but most of it you don't really need to worry about. Truthfully, if you've done it, it's done. So that's kind of it. After this, I'm going to now show you how to change and add and change your themes, and how to do other things, all of which would need to be in a whole new video. So for now, this is done. Let's save this one, and let's get on to the next one. Username failed. Oh, cool. Thank you. Cheers.